Hello everyone, my name is Akira. I'm a pianist, piano teacher, and a translator who's lived in 3 different countries. On my channel, I'm posting videos of my performances, topics related to and not related to music. So if you haven't, please subscribe and hit the bell button so you won't miss my future videos. I've been posting on tutorial videos on so many topics about piano, but I just realized I didn't even touch the pedals yet. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the damper pedal, which is the one on the right side of the piano. What happens when you press that pedal, how it affects your music, and how to use it properly. Before I start, as always, I want to say a huge thank you to my patrons on patreon.com. Now I have 21 awesome patrons and counting. Thanks to all of your support, I'm getting closer and closer to making these videos more often. And if you're kind enough to support me for $3 or $10 per month, I'll leave the link to my Patreon page in description. Alright, let's start! Like I said, I'm going to talk about the damper pedal today, because that's what we use majority of the time and it's probably most important to you. So these are what we call dampers. Dampers are always in contact with strings, unless you play a key, like this. When you play a key, hammers go up and strike the strings, and dampers go up so that the strings can keep resonating. And when you release the key, it goes down to be in contact with the strings so that it can stop the sound. So dampers are basically sound stoppers. So what happens when you press the damper pedal? They all go up. Now there's nothing on your piano that stops the strings from vibrating, so as long as the energy lasts, it keeps making sound. So how does this affect your music? Well, it keeps holding the keys, right?
No.
That's what everybody thinks, and what most of the keyboards just do. But there's a lot more things happening when you're pressing damper pedal. For example, this is how I play middle C without damper pedal. This is with damper pedal. As you can hear, my damper pedal is not just holding that particular key, but it's actually changing the characteristic of the sound. It's a lot richer and deeper. And this happens because of the physics of the sound. I'm not a scientist, just a musician. So I'm not going to go into details of how exactly this happens. But in a simple sense, sound is an energy that transfers through the air. When I hit the middle C, my middle C string started vibrating. And that started the whole chain reaction to other strings as well. So when you're using damper pedal, you're not just using that particular set of strings, but you're using the entire piano strings to make that sound. So that's why the sound gets richer and deeper. This is called resonance, and I can demonstrate this by talking into the piano while the damper pedal is on. I move my sound recorder here so it can catch the subtle sound from the piano better. So I'm gonna press the damper pedal and start talking into the piano. I hope it caught the sound. Let's try one more time just in case. One more time. Last one. I wasn't physically touching the strings in any way, but I was just talking into the piano. But because my voice carries a sound energy and that stimulates the strings started vibrating. And that's what's causing that cave-like reverb. So what do all of these do to your music? As a pianist, when I teach the pedal to my students, I tell them pedals exaggerate everything. Pedals emphasizes everything. So if you play really well with your fingers, it sounds beautiful. If you're not playing so well with your fingers, it's gonna sound terrible. So pedals are sort of dangerous. It can make it really good if you do it well, but if you're not doing well, it's gonna sound even worse. So as a pianist, you shouldn't add the pedal until the very last stage of learning music. Once you can play the music very well with your fingers only, then you add the pedal, and then your playing will be emphasized. All the good things you're doing is exaggerated and becomes even better. Another reason not to add the pedals when you're reading music or trying to get the fingers going is that pedals add complexity to your playing. The best way to practice is to make it simple and learn little by little. So adding complexity is the last thing you want to do. So let's see how you're supposed to use a pedal. So one of the effect pedal has is to hold the old note. So when you play different chords, it's gonna start mixing the chords and make the sound dirty. That's why you have to change the pedal in the middle whenever the chord changes. For that, piano adventures have very good exercise. The exercise goes like this. You're gonna play each chord in C major one by one, holding 2 beats and resting 2 beats like this. And so on. Once you can do that, then you're going to use the pedal to connect them. But this is what usually happens when you first try it. If you change the pedal too early, then your sound chops up like this. But if you change the pedal too late, then you're going to mix in the 2 chords and make it dirty. So the best way to change the pedal is as you play the next chord, you let go of the pedal and then come back right away, like this. Now I'm playing the chord, letting go, come back. Play at the same time, let go and come back. At the same time as you're playing, let go and come back. Now I'm going to do it quickly. Now you can't even tell when I'm changing the pedals, but apparently I'm changing the pedals at each chord because it's not mixing in. And notice how my heel stays on the ground. That becomes a pivot point to change the pedal. And in order to change the pedal quickly, don't lift your foot from the pedal. You press the pedal by applying a gentle downward force. And then when you release, you just relax your foot and let the pedal do the work. And then press back down. So the only pressure your foot should be applying is a downward. Downward, relax, down, relax, down, relax. Also, when you use the pedal, where you put your left foot is pretty important. Because right foot can no longer support your upper body. Your left foot is going to be the one that supports your whole body when you swing right and left. Like I explained in this video, your sitting position becomes really important too. If you sit too deep in the bench, your thigh is locked. So you can only use knee and down to do the pedal. Whereas when you sit in the front half of the bench, you can use your entire leg to do the pedal. Beginners tend to move the entire body, including your shoulders, to do the pedal like this. But apparently, this is going to affect your playing so much. So try to do the pedal without moving your upper body, just your right legs, like this. There are so many other things I can talk about damper pedals, but last thing I'm going to talk about is this. Don't overuse the pedal. I know pedal is so fascinating and you want to use it all the time, but for example, this Labri 4 Elise, if you use the pedal in the beginning, it'll sound like this. It's so muddy. This is because E and D sharp doesn't mix very well. And there's And as you add more and more to the sound, you're basically playing from A to E, all the white keys plus D sharp like this. So even if the majority of the piece is played with the pedal, there are certain places where you shouldn't. I once heard a saying that overusing pedal is like putting too much salt on your food. Salt doesn't make your food taste better. Salt makes your food taste salty. And I had another teacher say overusing damper pedal is like eating too much kimchi. You see, kimchi is a good complement to your food, but it's not the main dish. Well, I disagree. Kimchi is great. I can just keep eating that forever. But the jokes aside, keep in mind, damper pedals are not just holding those keys for you. It's exaggerating everything you're doing. So if you're playing really well with your fingers, then it's gonna make it even better. If you're not doing so well, if your articulation's not correct, dynamics is all over, then it's gonna make it sound even worse. Not to mention when you make a mistake, it's gonna stay there for a long time until you change the pedal. It makes piano playing so much more fun, but it does come with a huge risk. By the way, did you know strings above this high E don't even have dampers? And that's because dissonances, aka the bad sounding sound, doesn't sound as bad in a higher register compared to lower register, like this. Minor second doesn't sound too bad. It's terrible in the lower register. Again, I can keep going on and on about the damper pedal and how to use properly, but these are the basics I wanted to cover today. If you learned something from this video, please hit the like button so YouTube will know this is a good content and start spreading to other people. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section. I really enjoy reading everybody's comments and I'm trying to respond as much as possible. If you're interested in taking online lessons with me, I'll leave the link to my appointment system in the description. Alright, that's it for today. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.